Thank you very much, Presiding Officer. And the Cabinet Secretary is absolutely spot on. It is a short bill. However, I think the contents of it can be seen as frustrating, because we're spending parliamentary time today fixing yet another mess that was created by the Scottish Government in the last session. The previous SNP government changed the definition of a woman when they passed the Gender Representation on Public Boards Act in 2018. The definition that was contained within the 2018 Act wrongly confused two distinct protected characteristics in a separate law, those of a biological woman and people who are transgender. The nature of protected characteristics is also a reserved matter, so the definition of women within the 2018 Act impinged on matters not devolved to the Scottish Parliament. Changing the definitions of a protected characteristic is, of course, not permitted in law and led to the conclusion that the respected Act was outside legislative competence. Presiding Officer, had it not been for women's groups challenging this Act, this amended bill would not be before us today. I am pleased that we have fierce, resilient and brave women right across Scotland who will not tolerate their rights being eroded. They have challenged this government over their policies and decision-making and continue to be unapologetically vocal in their fight to protect women and girls. It was for Women Scotland who brought the judicial review on the Scottish Government's new definition of a woman, and the Court of Inner House ruled on the 18th of February 2022 that it was out with the legislative competence of the Scottish Parliament as it amended the definition of protected characteristics in the Equality Act 2010. Since the 2018 Act could not be amended quickly, the Court issued an order which declared the definition be formally removed from the 2018 Act and the statutory guidance. This meant that the Act has been operating within the Equality Act definition of a woman since the 19th of April 2022. I believe that the outcome determined by the Court shows that biological sex matters. The bill that we are discussing today removes the unlawful definition from the face of the bill, and that is welcome. And it is, of course, a step in the right direction, but it isn't one that the SNP government reached on its own. The SNP are continuously tying themselves in knots when it comes to their understanding of protected characteristics. Through the Gender Recognition Reform Bill, they tried to create a hierarchy of protected characteristics, pitting groups against each other. We are still feeling the aftermath of this deep division that's been sown by the Scottish Government over issues such as self-ID. Women witnessing their hard-won rights being diluted and feeling that their legislative protections are worth less than other vulnerable groups. This Government has not supported them, has not engaged with them and has dismissed their concerns as being not valid. That's not how you create equality, and I think it's a sad reflection that women feel the need to challenge this government to make sure that their rights are upheld. Lessons need to be learned from this, and that brings me on to the impact of these never-ending legal challenges. Hundreds of thousands of pounds have already been squandered by the SNP over gender-related matters. Whether it be judicial reviews or the Gender Recognition Reform Bill, we are seeing a repeat pattern, and in my view, it needs to stop. It creates more division, and I am sure we agree that taxpayers' money could be better spent elsewhere. So here's my asks of the Scottish Government today. Accept the rulings and stop meddling in matters that are reserved. Don't stray into areas that makes legislation unlawful. And please listen to women's groups. All they want is for their rights to be protected and respected. There is nothing controversial in any of that. Presiding Officer, given that we are here today because of the hard work and efforts of For Women Scotland, I will end my contributions today by thanking them for their hard work, their tenacity and their expertise. They are the women who wouldn't wished. For Women Scotland turned 6 years old today, and may I congratulate them as well on their campaigning success so far. We in the Scottish Conservatives will continue to stand shoulder to shoulder with them on these issues, and I'll finish by asking them directly to keep powering on to protect the rights of women and girls here in Scotland. Thank you.